Alright, I'm back, guys. And now we are going to talk about base building. Now, this was, of course, another segment that was mind-blowing here. And we're going to go slowly, right? Going to go from small outposts to industrial outposts to much bigger. And there are really quite a lot of things there that personally I was not expecting.
We found a beautiful location by a lake.
So this is supposed, by the way, I was quite surprised. This is supposed to be Monox Pyro 2. I did not expect Pyro 2 to look like this, have little legs like that, have trees like that. This is something that I was expecting that to be on Hurston, because it could have made sense, right? We have trees like that on Hurston, we have little legs, right? So I was not expecting that to be Pyro 2. Also, another thing that I noticed that is really nice. Did you notice that the trees have been cut? So that's why I was wondering if the trees will eventually be subject to the Maelstrom destructible element system.
This is where we build ourselves a home.
By the way, there's the hover tray right there, which is going to be useful to push the various crates of SCU. So nice.
We need some resources and the construction graph card.
Now, that I was not expecting to see, a construction graph card, which makes me think of something that we have not seen. And this here, sorry CIG, I'm gonna bring some unpleasant alerts there, because the last time we've seen grav tech like this in a Citizen Con was when CIG shown us some Squadron 42, and they shown us the graph pods for bounty hunting. And this reminds me that we have not seen bounty hunting V2 at this Citizen Con, and we haven't seen, of course, Star Sim. It was mentioned, but we haven't seen, and we also did not see, and I forgot the third one. So we haven't seen bounty hunting, we haven't seen Star Sim, and we haven't seen passenger transport. Yeah, and that is really something that I mean, we saw that a long time ago with Tony Z, and that was the last time, right? And we still have, they're selling us ship, the E1 Spirit passenger transport, right? It's gonna be a thing one day. Constellation Phoenix for passengers, and Genesis Starliner, but it's not there, and that's really unfortunate, right? We saw a lot of what's coming up in the future with Star Citizen 1.0, right? But how about actual gameplay associated with the future of this of our game? It wasn't there at all, and that's really that's really unfortunate. No, Maelstrom was in Season Con, Parker. They did show us Maelstrom in season during the Season Con. So that's actually, there's a whole segment about how things get destructed, and then the characters cannot get cover because of that. They did show us a little bit of Maelstrom during the presentation. It's just not in the footage that I'm showing today.
The graph card allows us to survey the land, claim the land in a lawful system, and it allows us to build structures. As we've already found the location and don't need to claim land in Lawless Pyro, we can straight dive into building our base.
Yeah, so it's great that we can use that to claim land, right? So you're not going to have to buy a land claim like we used to in the past. You have that already, you bought it with real money, good, but you'll be able to buy it in-game as well,
Keep
right?
in mind, the following UI is work in progress.
And this, oh, I love that. Now, they got a little explanation as of, oh, how come you can see everything in third person from far above? That's because there are going to be some probes or not really probes, but some drones that are going to come out there and film what's going on, and you're just looking at the screen that's showing you what the probe is revealing from above. So that's the explanation. Okay, I like this, but I also like that what we are seeing here is kind of similar to what we're seeing in base building games, right, or city building games, and it's also in real time with the other people that you get that are in your party and doing things.
In the new structure mode, we'll pick a small basic structure and hit construct.
All right, so let's have a look at what we can do here. We got the foundation square or triangle. I suppose that's what's going to be underneath the structures, right? Perhaps that's what it is. Or it's just some kind of square where you place buildings on top. I suppose that's what it is. Then you have the living quarters here, which is basically house. You got a small one, medium one, large one. I'm quite surprised that this can build a lot. I suppose that it can only build a small one. It's probably the same interface for all of the different sizes of a construction facility that you have, but this one can only make small ones, right? You also have solid matter. I have no idea what this is. I would expect that this is probably some kind of extractor that extracts solid matter from the soil. Got a solid. Oh, there's the extractor right there. Freight elevator. That's super important, right? Because you're gonna have to bring in what you collect, say raw resources. Well, it's gonna have to come out and eventually be refined. You got the construction hub. I suppose that it's if you want to be constructing things. Junction passage. I like that junction passage. Is it going to be some kind of ramp from building to building? This would be super cool. Straight passage. Maybe these are the roads because they're not showing up the roads. So maybe the straight passage is something that's going to be on the ground and you'll be building on top of. I mean, you'll be doing some decals maybe. They also have hangars, for your ships, right? That's super important as well. Notice also how you have the small, medium, and large. So this can only build small structures. So if you have a small outpost and you don't have the big, let's say, for example, the big Starfarer, the big Star Lancer that allows you to build big structures, then you're not going to have a big hangar, right? They have some refineries as well, and extractors and a fuel generator. So pretty basic so far, right? I just hope that eventually we are going to have more designs for the structures, that they're not going to be looking all the same. Otherwise, I think that the player bases are going to look very redundant, right? They need to allow us to have different kinds of styles for our bases. But of course, it's work in progress, very redundant, very basic at the beginning, right? But I expect CIG to flesh this out with different styles. I would be excited to build the type of outpost that we see on Pyro, right? With the new colonialism outpost that we've seen for a while. I want to build that too.
For this demo, the construction will be instantaneous. But in the final product, this will take you quite some time.
Which makes sense, right? It's also part of the experience when you are building a base, seeing your base being built slowly but slowly construction, right? It brings the hype. You're like, oh, you can see, oh, there's the foundations, oh, we can see the first layer, and then you can see, oh, it's almost done, come on, and then you see the final pieces being put, and then finally it's completed, and you're like so happy to finally go inside, even though it's empty. You're like, yeah, I built that. That these are the vibes that building a base gives you in this kind of games, and I cannot wait to be experiencing that in Star Season 2, right? Hopefully not just one style packer, right?
Build our first structure. Let's have a look on the inside.
Alright, it looks a little, I wish that it could be more struts underneath, but I'm just nitpicking here. Right, there's a little airlock.
Into the small basic structure, we see an empty interior that is dimly lit. It's up to us to define what we will use this space for. In our case, we will want to make it into a home.
Yeah, and they were talking about making the air breathable. That's super important because on planet Monox, which is Pyro 2, there is carbon monoxide in the air. So if you go out there for a long time without a helmet or something that helps you breathe, you will be in trouble, right?
See that the lights are still
oh
off,
yeah, the windows are phenomenal, right?
Because no lights means no atmosphere, no breathable atmosphere. So it's not ideal to live in.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? If you don't have power, you can have all the carbon monoxide from the outside that will go inside. That's not good. I, however, think that those windows, I wish that we could have like a button that would shut down the curtains or shutters so that we could have a little privacy also inside, so that maybe some people would not sneak and see, oh, is there someone inside, what's going on, right? If we could close that when we don't want to be seen, that would also be nice, right? Tint or opaque, yes, exactly.
So how do we solve this issue? We can improve this by providing the building with power. Let's see if we can build something that helps us out. But before we dive into more building, let's take a quick moment to enjoy the freedom that the survey drone provides us with and admire the aesthetics of our first structure. And I wonder what Declan was up doing there.
Yeah, it needs more legs underneath the structure.
Keep in mind that base building is still work in progress, but what you're seeing right now has been recorded directly in the client and works seamlessly between first person and the building mode.
This already shows how advanced it is. It's, yeah, work in progress, but that's already where they're at. And they can already all of these things in engine, in game. That's why I'm quite confident that we are going to be seeing the very basics of base building within the next 12 months. By the time we have CitizenCon next year, I'm quite confident that people will already have started building some bases. Now, these are not going to be permanent bases. I suspect that these bases that we're going to be getting, there will be wipes eventually, right? Because it's still going to be alpha. When we're going to be transitioning from alpha to beta to 1.0, there will be wipes. But it's going to be a great opportunity to test these game mechanisms. Give the devs some feedback, how they can improve, what works, what doesn't work. It's super important for us to go through that process, which is why when we're going to get those bases, don't think that these are going to be the final ones. Don't get too attached to your creations, because what we are going to be doing when this will get in our hands will be temporary because there will be wipes. That being said, it's still going to be very exciting to be trying out those game mechanics that are going to define how we will play Star Citizen in the future.
Okay, enough. Back to base building. In the list of new structures, we see a small fuel generator. That is something that could solve our problem, I think. Power providing structures need to be hooked up to other buildings inside construction ER mode. But we'll explain this later.
You want to build underground, Parker, and connect hangar to hub? Well, maybe it will be possible. Maybe we'll have our own bunkers in the future, right? That you go from the hub and have a secret passage underneath. I suppose why not? I mean, we are going to have similar mechanisms in space bases or space stations, so why not? Now, talking about power generator here, something that I was ranting about a little bit earlier when we were talking about Nyx is I hope that we are going to have sustainable energy as well, not just power generator that you have to put to fill in with fuel. It's probably going to be hydrogen fuel. I hope that we're also going to have our own wind turbines or solar panels so that we don't need to make sure, oh, do I have fuel? Am I going to get into trouble? Right? I think that would be nice.
The fuel generator is one of several structures that provides power.
Ah, okay. I did not hear that. Okay, it's one of several structures that provides power.
Each with their own benefit and drawbacks. Fuel power is quick and easy to build, but it requires a constant supply of fuel besides its regular maintenance.
Which is going to make my buddies at Ultima Energy very happy. Because there's a whole org, guys, that I am part of. I am a member of Ultima Energy. It's just I don't play with them so often. I wish I could. I don't have so much time. But yeah, Ultima Energy specialize in providing fuel, and they will be going to all of these outposts, giving fuel for a fee, and so that you don't need to worry about that, guys. Seems really lawful to be mostly secure. Yeah.
If a structure is not maintained, it will halt its activity. Players will need to maintain fuses to keep the building operational. The better crafted fuse, the longer it lasts.
Man, the people, the fuse crafters, they're gonna get rich because everybody's gonna need fuses.
This is where the fuse goes on this building. Next up, we have a terminal that gives us access to the status of our building. And, more importantly, we get to activate it here.
And there you go. Look at that nice little animation there. You got the little lights, the little fans here that go around, the exhaust port here. This looks so cool, and it's gonna look even better at night.
That should do it. Let's see if we got power in the building now.
All right, let's go in the building.
As you notice, some of the crates in the background have disappeared, as their content has been consumed during the construction process of the buildings.
Now, that's something that I have a problem with, right? Why did they disappear? It's something that, there's something that the devs are working on constantly is making, magic make-believe, right? So if you see the crates are disappearing in front of our very eyes, that doesn't seem very realistic. That's why I'm hoping that these crates will eventually go, somewhere into some kind of freight elevator or something. Because if they just disappear, it's just not going to be looking good, right? They still need to think of some kind of way that's going to make... We're going to put our crates somewhere. They will go behind a door, and that's where they will disappear behind the scenes, right? Because if they disappear in front of our eyes, that doesn't look very good.
And it looks like Declan is now hooking up the power to the building. I wonder what he was up to earlier, though.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Exactly, like ship elevators. All right, there you go. You can decorate your home now. They need to seriously improve the way decoration works in the game right now. I don't know if you guys have tried to decorate your hangar in Star Citizen, which is something that you can do right now. It's a mess. Everything flies away. They need to find a way to attach these items to the ground, which is not good. You just push them a little bit and it all falls apart, and it's super annoying. And I really, really hope that they are going to be finding a way. And so you cannot put something on top of another thing. Like this here, what you're seeing, those boxes on top of other boxes, you can't do that in the game right now. It's all going to fall apart.
Has been busy decorating the place.
Yeah,
So
nice decoration.
The lights are now properly working. We got atmosphere, and we can start to use the item fabricator now that there is power.
This is awesome. We're gonna have a whole live stream, by the way, where there's so much to talk about. This is just part one, guys. I'm gonna make a lot of other live streams about what we saw during this season con. Crafting is gonna have its own session. There's so much to talk about crafting.
Always handy in case we need a fuse. Let's have a quick look at what we've done so far. We've decorated the place. We made it our own little home.
You want bouncy
We
balls
hooked
of
it
layer.
up with power. I would say we have a place that we can live in.
Yeah.
It might not be much, but I think it's just enough to call it a home.
It's a start, right? And then what you are going to be doing to expand this is going to be entirely up to you. Are you going to... So what I suspect is that a lot of people, or especially solo players, will be starting like that. This is the setup that you are seeing here for solo players. We heard a lot of things, from the comments from the Citizen Con saying that, oh, there's nothing for solo players. It's all about large orgs and so on. This is for solo players. You have your own little home with your own little power generator, maybe your own little solo hangar for your solo ship, right? And that's going to be it. You can expand on that. What I would do personally, I would love to see a little farm, right? So you're gonna have farm buildings. You're gonna have your quasi grazer that you can, milk, you can get your eggs from, and then you can kill them, get the meat, all the tongs, and make some products out of that with your crafting machine. And why not even have your own little shops where NPCs are going to come by? Because with Star Sim, eventually NPCs will come by, right? Advertise, and maybe you have a place, or maybe go to some other main trade hubs and go sell your products, right? So that's what I see is going to be happening for single players.